Hi everyone, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made this tiered white cotton dress. It's the absolute perfect spring summer dress and I really love it. So I started out by tracing a dress that I like the shape of. I'm really only tracing the bodice, so no sleeves, but just the top bodice. And I'm doing the back a little bit wider so I have a little bit of playroom as well. And I'm cutting it out twice because I want a lining as well. And then I'm just cutting out strips of fabric about 25 centimeters long or thick, and then just the width of the entire fabric. And I'm just making a lot of strips, just however much fabric I have left, I'm cutting up in those strips. Then I'm sewing in some darts at the chest area. I'm doing this both in the lining and in the normal fabric as well. Then I'm sewing together the shoulder seams and also the side seams of the bodice, both in the lining fabric and the regular fabric. Then I'm lining up the lining fabric and the regular fabric at the neckline. I'm pinning these together and I'm sewing them together as well. Now I'm folding the lining fabric right sides together with the normal fabric, and I am going to be sewing up the back of this. I'm leaving a little bit of a gap open so I can have a little keyhole at the top of the back of the dress, and then folding it inside out, like right sides outside again. Then you kind of gonna have a little slit at the top of the neck at the back, and I'm pinning this together and I'm putting in a little buttonhole thingy, and that is going to be sewn together as well, just with a top stitch. And now I'm cutting out the sleeves. I'm just going to do a really wide one because I want to have a little puffy sleeve. So then I'm going to be sewing together the side seams of the sleeves, and I'm doing a little basting stitch on top of the sleeves as well. And then I'm going to be gathering the sleeves to fit into the armhole, and I'm pinning it together, right sides of the sleeve facing the right side of the garment. And I'm going to be sewing this together with a straight stitch and then a little zigzag stitch as well. So then I'm going to be ironing the bottom of the bodice, and I'm going to be folding it inwards about 1 centimeter. So both on the outside fabric and the lining fabric. This is going to come in handy later. Then I'm going to be sewing together the layers we cut earlier. So for the first layer, I'm just sewing 1 strip together, and then for the next layer I'm sewing 2 strips together, and I'm sewing in pockets on the second strip as well. At the top of the layers I am sewing basting stitches so I can gather them to the bodice and then to the next layer and so on. So I'm doing that on every single layer. And then it's just a matter of gathering the layers, the first one to fit the bodice, the second one to fit the first one, the third one to fit the second one, and the fourth one to fit the third one, if that makes sense. And then the first layer I'm just top stitching into the bodice, so I'm catching both the lining and the top fabric. And the other layers I'm just stitching together with a straight stitch and then a zigzag stitch. Now the bodice was a little bit too wide, so I decided to sew some elastic on the inside of the dress on the stitch that we made earlier, just on the exact place of that, and I'm stretching the elastic out to fit the entire bodice, and then it will cinch it in. And then I'm doing a rolled hem alongside the entire bottom of the dress, so on the last layer. Then I have cut a band for the bottom of the sleeve to fit my arm. It's a little bit wider so I can move my arm around. And I'm doing a basting stitch along the bottom of the sleeve as well. I've sewed the armbands closed, and I'm going to be ironing about 1.5 centimeter inwards on both sides of the armband, and I'm going to be folding it in half as well. So then I'm gathering the sleeve to fit the armband, and I'm pinning them together. And I'm just doing a top stitch to stitch them together in place. I'm also doing another top stitch at the other side of the armband to make it look nice. And that's it. I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. I really love how the dress turned out, and I'm very excited to wear it the rest of the summer. So thank you, and hopefully see you in the next one. Bye bye, have a good one.